the algorithm has its influence, it's ultimately built on human behavior, which means that you're able to actually shape the content that you see on Instagram and any other social platform that you use. So if you hate being on Instagram, you're not really feeling it, let's talk about how you can take charge of the content that you see and make Instagram a more inspiring place to be. First, you need to understand that Instagram's goal is to show you as much content that you actually want to see as possible, because the more time you spend on their platform, the more opportunities that they have to advertise you, which means extra money for them. And to be honest, with all of the discourse around Instagram, they know what they've been doing. They know that it hasn't been the best experience, and so they built in features to actually help you to help them to understand what it is that you actually want to see and don't want to see. One of those features, well, actually two of those features, are the new feeds that they introduced not too long ago, the following and favorites feeds. I have a whole nother video, I will link it up here, about why the following and favorites feeds aren't the primary feeds on Instagram and why Instagram doesn't actually want you to use them, so you can check that out. But if your main complaint is that you're not seeing enough content from people you actually follow, then you need to make use of these feeds. When you tap into the aptly named following feed, you will only see content from people that you actually follow. Won't be no random creators reels, no ads, just content from people that you follow. To access either one of these feeds, you should see an arrow next to the Instagram logo in the top left of your screen as you start to scroll down on your regular feed. You should tap that and then you'll see the options for following and favorites feed. Then there's the favorites feed, which is made up entirely of content from creators that you favorited on Instagram. Now, when you favorite a creator on Instagram, you're also pretty much guaranteed to see their content in your regular feed, because that's your way of indicating to Instagram, hey, this content creator's content is a priority for me to see, so keep that content coming. Now, aside from seeing content from people that you follow, if you feel like your regular feed just is not giving, just is not showing you the content that you actually want to see, here's what you need to do. Get engaged. You have to actually show Instagram that you like posts and that you like specific content beyond just staring at it for longer than you would any other post, which they actually also track, and it's kind of creepy, but I digress. If you like a post, actually like the post. If you found something really helpful or really interesting or funny, leave a comment and let the creator know how the post impacted you. And if you feel like the post will impact someone else in a positive way, be sure to share it. Not only will you engaging in this way help Instagram to get a better understanding of what you're interested in so they can show you more of what you want to see on the platform, it also helps other content creators so that they know what content is working and they can make more of it so they can keep you interested as well. Now, similarly to how you can let Instagram know that you like a post by engaging, liking, commenting, sharing, all of that, you can also actually let Instagram know when you don't like a post. When you see a post that you don't like, you can tap the three little dots in the top right corner of the post, and depending on whether you follow the person or not, you'll see an option to either hide the post or to say that you're not interested in the post. Instagram will take the hint and then try to show you less of that type of content. Like I said before, Instagram wants to show you as much of the content that you actually want to see as possible, so using these tools will help you to let them know what you're into, what you're not into, so that everything can perform better. Now, the next part of making the algorithm work for you and making Instagram a more inspiring place for you to be is to periodically audit your following. Over time, like any person, your goals are going to change, your interests are going to change, and you want the media that you're consuming and the things that you're exposing yourself to and the people you're following as a result to reflect that. And that's why I've created the SPIN acronym to help you decide whether you should continue or decide to follow someone or not. So let's get into it, starting with the S in SPIN, which stands for skill. With this one, you basically just want to ask yourself, is this person creating content around a skill that I'm trying to build? If the answer is yes, then obviously you have a really great reason to keep following them, so keep them in the loop and keep that educational process going. But if the answer is no, keep going through the rest of this acronym to see if it makes sense for you to follow them or to keep following them. Next up is P, which stands for positivity. Now, if we're being real, the majority of why we enjoy a lot of creators and being on social media in general is because of the entertainment value that it brings. So if a creator's content is making you laugh or you just generally feel happy after watching it, hit that follow button or continue following them if you already are. On the other hand, if you're viewing someone's content and then afterwards you feel negative rather than positive or neutral, you may want to take a step back and ask yourself why. It could be a growth point for you. For example, if you're comparing yourself to that person, that's a cue for you to maybe take a step back, work on building yourself up, and then if you want to come back to that creator's content, you can later on. Or maybe after stepping back and reflecting, you realize, okay, yeah, this content in general just isn't really good for me, and that's a solid enough reason for you to unfollow if that's what you feel you need to do, or not follow in the first place if you weren't following them already. Next is the I for inspiration. This one's kind of obvious, but you just want to ask yourself whether or not a creator's content is inspiring to you. We all need a little extra motivation and push from time to time, so if you can find someone that can push you to take action, can push you to move towards your goals, you probably want to keep that person around. On the other hand, if a person is not inspiring you, that's okay. Like I said, there could be other reasons that you want to follow them, but it's just something to keep in mind in terms of creating a more positive space where it inspires you to do things in your life that you want to achieve. I created this acronym as a guide, but ultimately I want you to be able to trust yourself in evaluating what you want to get out of your social media experience and make the best decisions for yourself from there. And then we have N for networking. So here you want to ask yourself, is this person someone that I genuinely want to build a relationship or keep a relationship with? Now we want to put an emphasis on genuinely here, because you don't want to follow someone and then 2 seconds later be in their DMs trying to sell to them, because people are kind of tired of that, or at least I am. Anyway, social media is supposed to in fact be social in some capacity, so if you find people that you want to connect with, or you're thinking about who you want to keep following and you want to maintain a connection with certain people, you probably want to keep them around, because having a community and building that out will be part of what makes Instagram a better feeling place for you to be. And that's been, if you use this acronym in conjunction with the features that I mentioned earlier to show Instagram what you're interested in and what you're not interested in, Instagram will be a more inspiring place for you to be and just a more positive place for you to be. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!